Hello retro gamers, this is Hav, and right off the bat, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. But my appreciation does not end there. I'd also like to thank ETA Prime. That dude has a super dope channel all about emulation, and he knows how to put together damn good videos, and especially tutorial videos. I'm modeling this video after watching and learning the ways of the Prime, so you should definitely check out his videos and subscribe to his channel. I would also like to give a huge shout out to all of the developers out there that have created great emulators and have ported emulators to Android. And I would be remiss if I did not give a bunch of credit to all of the other devs out there that have created some awesome emulation front ends on Android. Seriously, huge shout out and thanks to those devs and those awesome front ends that I've sunk many hours into. Alrighty, so there are many emulation enthusiasts playing retro games on Android, which means there are a lot of different preferences in what gamers want out of a front end. I'm really hoping that Reset Collection is able to join the family of front ends and appeal to gamers out there like myself that are looking for the specific aesthetic and user experience that Reset Collection offers. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give a pretty comprehensive tutorial to setting up Reset Collection on your Android devices. Reset Collection is available for phones, tablets, as well as Android TV. I'll be using an NVIDIA Shield in this video, and later I'll also show an example of taking a backup of my setup on the Shield and restoring it on a Pixel 4 XL phone. But I'm jumping a bit ahead of myself here, more on backup and restore later. Actually, speaking of jumping around, if at any time you want to skip to a point of interest, you can find in the description below timestamps to all major topics I'll be covering in this video. So let's get started with setting up Reset Collection. As you can see, I've downloaded Reset Collection from the Play Store, opened it for the first time, and I'm waiting now for the one-time initial launch data setup to complete. Awesome, setup is now complete. Let's add a system. The first system I want to add is NES. I'm going to choose Add a New System, scroll down to Nintendo NES, and for the emulator, I'm going to choose nes.emu. Reset will detect that I don't have this emulator installed, so it'll ask me if I want to go to the Play Store to download this emulator. I'll select Open Play Store, and I'll go ahead and install it. Once that's done, I'll go back to Reset and select nes.emu. Next, we're going to want to navigate to the folder that has the NES ROMs. So I have my ROMs in an external storage drive, and you can get to that by hitting this up arrow, which will take you to the parent directory. I'm going to choose my external storage drive and go to the NES ROM folder and select Choose Current Folder. Cool, so in this window, I can make some updates to the scraping options. I can, for example, change the quality of the image that will be downloaded. I can change the max number of downloads per art types such as box art and front back box art, back box art, logo, screenshot, etc. And you can also add to or update the file extensions of your ROMs. I'm going to change the max downloads to 2 just so we can shorten down the download time a bit. And I'm going to deselect download back box art and download game cart disk because I'm really personally not interested in using those for my UI game setup. Add system without scanning would add the system and the ROMs without doing a scrape. But we don't want to do that. We want to scrape for system data, the title, the description, and for images. So we're going to pick scan and add system. So now Reset's going to download the images for the games. And this process for 139 images will take less than 30 seconds. And while you're waiting, you can read some fun facts. I think I'm going to always try to add fun facts with every new release. All right, so the NES system was populated, and it was populated with description and images for the, like a screenshot for the backdrop and logo and etc. And we'll also see here that it will autoplay a video if a video URL was scraped, and most games do have a video URL. There are some games that do not have a video URL scraped, and this is an example here, Bad Dudes. But what we can do is we can go in and add the video ID from a YouTube video. You can just get that by going to YouTube, and I like to put in the name of the game and put in gameplay. So for this, I searched Bad Dudes gameplay and grabbed the video ID for the gameplay video that I like the most. And here you can just enter it in. Hit save and wait a couple of seconds, and you'll see that the video will begin to play. That is pretty bad, dude, if I must say so myself, and sorry about that. And you can hit L2 and R2, the left trigger, right trigger, or buttons to fast forward and rewind the video if you wanted to. You can also just delete the video ID for any video if you want to disable video for just that game. Another thing that you can do is you can disable video playback globally by going to the settings menu and selecting autoplay game videos, so toggling that setting. Now that it's off, videos will not autoplay. Okay, I'm going to show you now how you can change the backdrop or box art or logo or banner of a game or of a system. Okay, so first you're going to want to bring up the menu of that game or system, and that can be done by long pressing on a touchscreen, such as on your phone or on your tablet, or by long pressing the action button on your controller, which is usually the A button or maybe the X button on a PlayStation controller. I'm then going to select choose backdrop image, and then it will display all of the images that were scraped for this game. Let's select this image as our backdrop, and let's do the same thing for Castlevania. Now, what I want to do next is show you where images that are scraped and downloaded are stored on your internal drive. Images are stored in the Pictures folder of your home directory on your internal storage. They're stored in a folder called Reset Collection. And inside the Reset Collection folder, the images are sorted, saved by system, and then within the system folder, they're saved within game folders. So let's say you have your own images that you want to use as box art or the backdrop or logo or banner. Well, you can do that with Reset, and I'm going to show you how. Now, you don't have to do what I'm doing now. You can add any image from anywhere on your storage, but I'm going to move the images on my device that I want to add to games and systems into the Reset Collection folder in the Pictures folder, where games that are scraped and downloaded are saved. I'm doing this, and I would recommend that you do this too, if you're adding your own images and you have multiple devices and would like to set up Reset on a new device using the backup and restore function. This will just make the process of copying images from one device to the other and having them saved with the correct file path much simpler. Okay, so now let me show you how you can add an image from your device storage to a game or system in Reset. Okay, so what you want to do is bring up the game or system menu and select Add Game Art. Then navigate to the folder that has the image files that you want to add for that game or system. A couple of things to note here. You can select Choose Current Folder to add all images from that folder to the game or system, or you can just select an individual image file to add that image to the game or system. And another thing to note is wherever you last added the folder or image file from, that directory will be saved, so the next time that you select Add Game Art, you will start from that directory. So that will make it just easier to go through and add a lot of the images that you have stored on your device into Reset. All right, so I'm going to select this file for Contra. And then I'm going to bring up the menu again and choose backdrop image. And then the file that I just added will be at the end. And I'm going to select it and set it as the backdrop for Contra. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the system. The system comes with a pretty cool image I like to use for box art, but I'm actually going to choose one that I like more from my device. So again, you select Add System Collection Art, navigate to the folder or to the image file and select it to add it for that system, and then select it by bringing up the menu and going to choose box art image in this case, and then choose the image file that was just added. Okay, so about banner images. If you have an image set as a banner image, it will take up the entire details section of that game with that image. You can remove it, and if you do that, it will display the game's title or logo and the backdrop and the description. Now, if you want to change the emulator used for an individual game, you can do that by bringing up the game menu and going to Set Emulator, and then selecting the system and emulator that you want to set for this game. So I'd like to take this opportunity now to go over adding a RetroArch core as an emulator. So I'm going to select RetroArch Nestopia for this game. And now you can see that there are 3 options you can choose from. You're going to want to choose the RetroArch version that you have downloaded on your device. RetroArch has a few versions that are available. 2 of them are available on the Play Store, and that's the top 2 that you see there. There's a 32-bit version and a 64-bit version. There's also some other versions, and I believe the 3rd one is the more popular one. Let me know if there are other popular RetroArch versions, and I'll go ahead and add them. But the reason why you see those X's there is because Reset did not detect the config file that is created when RetroArch is installed onto your device. If you have one of these versions of RetroArch installed on your device and it's been opened, you will see a check mark next to one of these. So let's go ahead and download RetroArch to our device. Okay, so RetroArch is downloaded. We go back to select it in Reset, and oh no, we still have those X's. Well, that's because I forgot to open up RetroArch after installing it on the device. So let's go ahead and open up RetroArch. And RetroArch is going to need to do some data setup. Now the next step is very crucial. To allow any of these cores to work, you're going to have to download it. So go to download core, find the core that you are going to use for that game or system. Here we want to find Nestopia and then select it. It'll download, and what I like to do is I like to quit out of RetroArch. Let's go back to reset and set emulator. Go to Nintendo NES and pick the RetroArch core. Nestopia here. Oh look, we have a check mark. That's good. We set the emulator, and then let's test it out. Select Bad Dudes, and it's playing in RetroArch. Again, it's totally bad, dude. You can also set the emulator for all games in a system by bringing up the system menu and select Set Emulator for all games. So now if you have a lot of games, you might want a convenient way to scroll through those games. This can be done by bringing up the game menu or the system menu and selecting Scroll To, and then selecting any of these letters will scroll you to the first game of that letter in your game collection. Now there is no scraping algorithm out there that is perfect, and that includes mine. So sometimes you'll have a game that incorrectly scrapes or doesn't scrape at all. Here is an example. My scraper scraped the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game when I actually wanted it to scrape Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Lucky for you, Reset has a way that you can fix this. So what you want to do is, on the game that was incorrectly scraped, bring up the game menu and select Fix Game Match. Then start typing in the title of the game, and you'll see a list of matching results start to populate. Pick the title of the game for this file, and next you'll see the familiar scraping settings window. You can select this delete previously saved images for incorrectly matched games. What that'll do is it'll delete all the images for the that were downloaded with the incorrectly matched game. If you toggle this to off, it will leave those images. Once you're ready to fix this match, just select Fix Match. And then you'll see images downloading for the game, and then you'll see the properly matched games populated. Next to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, you'll see the Battle of Olympus. Well, some of you might want to actually ignore the when we're sorting games in our collection. And we can do that here by updating the game title. I've also used this trick for games like Ultimate Mortal Kombat, where I wanted Ultimate Mortal Kombat to be sorted next to Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. So I just removed Ultimate from the title of the game for that example. Now, for those of you that might prefer a setting, so Reset ignores the beginning of the when sorting, I'll get that setting out in a future release of Reset, I promise. But for now, this is one way to do this so that the is ignored when sorting. So what you want to do is bring up the game menu and then select Update Game Title and Description. Here you can update the description, and you can also update the title of a game. So we're going to go in and remove the from the game title. Hit Done, and then go and select Save. And here we have another game that starts with the, so we're going to remove it from that title. So remove the from The Legend of Kage. And after we're done doing that, we hit Save. And here in this case, to update the changes that were made, we're going to want to go up to the menus and select Refresh Collections. So now you can see that the Battle of Olympus and the Legend of Kage are sorted properly by ignoring the, which we just removed the in order to do that. All right, so what I want to do is update the system title. So we do that by bringing up the system menu and selecting update system title and description. And I'm going to remove Nintendo Entertainment System so that it looks a little bit nice, the title. And for good measure, let's add or choose a different backdrop image. So next, let's look at the favorites and last played collections. Right now, they're at the bottom of your collections list. And to add a game to your favorites collection, just go to the game menu and select Add Game to Favorites. To see any changes you make to these collections, you have to select Refresh Collections. So let's add some more games to the favorites. And of course, let us add DuckTales, because you gotta have that in your favorites. And again, select Refresh Collections to see updates to that. If you want to change the position of last played and favorites, you can do that in the settings menu. You can change which order they're in, and you can also change if it's at the top or bottom of your collections. And to, again, you have to hit Refresh Collections to see any changes you made. So right now, last played and favorites is at the top of the collections list. And let's put it back to the bottom of the collections list. So again, hit refresh, and now you'll see it's at the bottom of the collections list. So next, I'd like to show you how you can remove games from a collection and add games to a collection. So let's start by removing a game from a collection, and you can do that by bringing up the game menu and scrolling down to remove game from database. And that's only going to remove the game from the database. It will not delete any of the images from storage. So let me show you that again with Blaster Master. So now we have two games that have been removed from the collection. If you want to add games to a collection, you can do that by bringing up the system menu and scrolling down to scan game folder for new games. Select that and you'll see the scanning settings window that you are familiar with. And select scan and add system, and it will scan and scrape and add any games that it finds in the ROM folder for that system that have not been added there, or in this case, that have been removed from the collection. You can also remove an entire collection by bringing up the system menu and selecting remove collection. Once you remove it, it will not display anymore. But all of the images will remain on your device. And I'm going to go ahead and add this collection again, so the NES collection. And you're going to see something kind of interesting. When I add it, it will bring in all of the descriptions and all that kind of data. And you also kind of have an opportunity to change things with what images are downloaded here. So now any images that aren't on your device, but it finds, while scraping, so like maybe extra images, it will just download those extra images, and it won't need to download the images that are already on the device. So here I just decided to bring up the max of those images because I wanted to find some or get some more images for the system because I didn't quite like the last backdrop image. I like this one more, so I'm selecting that one. And just for good measure, let us change the title of the system because I don't like that it's so long. Great, looks great to me. Oh wait, maybe not, because I actually want to also change the box art because I really like that other box art image that I have on my device. So what I want to show you next is adding a collection or a system that has multi-disk ROMs. So I'm going to add the PlayStation system to my reset collection. I'm going to select add a new system, scroll down to Sony PlayStation, and I'm going to select FPSC, which is an emulator that I already have installed on my device. And then I'm going to navigate to my PlayStation ROM folder. And notice that I have Resident Evil 2 in two different folders. One is holding the disk 1 ROM, and the other one is holding the disk 2 ROM. So I'm just showing this to you so that you see that reset will scan subdirectories of a folder. So I'm going to select choose current folder. And then I'm going to set all of the scraping settings and select scan and add system. And hell yeah, here we go again with downloading images and reading some fun facts. Konami code has definitely saved my ass in Contra many times. The Mega Modem. Wish I had one of those when I was young. All right, done downloading images for PlayStation, and we can see the system populated for PlayStation. And I want to make sure I get that nice looking box art in there for PlayStation. So let's select a game that's a multi-disc game. If you select a game that's a multi-disc game, you'll get to choose which disc you want to play. Now, I find that the best way to name your games with discs is to put the disk and the disk number in parentheses at the end of the game title in your file name. So next I want to show you something about the images that are saved onto your device. First I'm going to change the backdrop of this game. And I want to show you that if you remove images from your device for a game, it's not going to break anything in reset collection, as long as it's not one of the images that you have set as your backdrop or as your banner or your logo or your box art. So you can go ahead and do some image file management here and delete any images that you don't want, thus freeing space on your device. And you can see that the images that I deleted are no longer there. If you want to see that tutorial guide that you see when you first launch Reset Collection, you can always go up to the menu options and select Display Tutorials. So next, let's go over creating a data backup and using that data backup to restore onto a different device. So that's a convenient way to set up your reset collection on a different device. So I'm going to bring up settings, and then I'm going to go down to data settings and choose backup data. So I'm going to select continue here. And now reset's going to give you options of where you want to save your backup. If it detects that you have external storage, you will see that option here as well. And selecting external storage is a convenient way to move that backup data file to the device that you want to set up on, or let's say it's an external USB drive. You can connect that external USB drive to a PC as well as your device and move the backup file that way. So I'm going to select the external storage for the location of my data backup file, and then I'm going to select create backup. And this process here will take probably a minute for most devices. I haven't seen it take any longer than a minute, but just hang tight and it will complete. Once it completes, you will see a dialog informing you that the process is complete. I'm going to speak very slowly so that I fill the empty space with, hey, it's complete. All right, so finish creating backup. The file is now on the external storage device. And the next thing I'm going to want to do here is copy over the reset collection folder that's in my pictures folder to my external storage device as well. We're going to need to copy over the reset collection pictures images folder to the device that we are setting up a reset collection on. You're also going to want to make sure that you have all of your ROMs on that new device. And it can actually be in a different file path, directory path, the ROMs, and later I'll show you how you can fix any directory path that is kind of mismatched, as long as the ROMs are in the folder, similar to how it's set up on your old device. But the pictures folder, the reset collection pictures folder, has to be inside the pictures folder of your home directory on your new device, and that's what I just showed you there. So right now we are on the Pixel XL phone. I'm showing you where I have my reset collection folder for the pictures and where I have my backup file. So let's go to the settings, and we're going to select restore data, and then we're going to navigate to that backup file. So I've got my backup file saved in this reset collection folder, and I'm just going to select it. The restore process is a lot faster than the saving process or the backup process. Once that's done, you can see that you have some directories, or I have some directories here that need to be fixed, since I'm using my device storage and not an external storage like I was on the NVIDIA Shield. So to fix it, you just click on one of those hazard images, icons, and then just navigate to your ROM folder and select choose as folder. And here I am doing the same thing for the Sony PlayStation. So just navigate to where you have your Sony PlayStation ROMs here and select choose current folder. And then that will be populated. And you can see that the backdrop that I had saved before is the same backdrop there, the same one that I was on the Shield. The same images, the custom images are the same. That's because I saved the custom images folder inside the pictures folder. It did not save the setting that I had for automatically playing videos. So you would have to do that yourself, but
here I'm showing that, the videos are also playing on the Pixel XL. You can't hear sound because the video capture application that I'm using on the Pixel XL does not capture sounds, but rest assured, sound will be playing from this device as well. Just showing navigating using a touchscreen. Okay, so that's going to be it for this Reset Collection tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and really hope that you enjoy this app. And if you have any questions, definitely email me. You can find my email in the tutorial guides that you can get to from the top menus. And I hope you enjoy this app. And again, thank you for watching this video. Goodbye, all.